G'day everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're doing something a little bit boring, but you need content, so here we are. So on today's video, we're going to be setting this thing up for the Whattagans trip. So if you watched the end of the last video, you'll know that in a week's time, or I'll be going away when this video gets uploaded, but I'll be doing a trip to Whattagans with Caleb. So it'll be G's on tour, which will be absolutely beautiful. Finally get to do a trip away and bring you guys along. But before we go away, we need to do a few things. So as you can see, there might be something missing from the back of my car, and that would be my canopy. When I go away on these trips with hard wheeling, I like to set up them nice and light. So I have these two plastic tubs from Bunnings, and I thought to begin the video off, we might go over the spares and tools that I bring along with it, just in case any of you are wondering. So we'll start over here with mainly the tools. So I like to bring a small 1/4-inch impact drive set just for any small things that I need or hard to reach places. So this comes in handy, very helpful. Up next we have tire repair kit. Very, very important. I have used this multiple times. It has got me out of the bush multiple times. This is definitely a must-have, in my opinion. Mates might be wondering, why the hell has this bloke got a big block of wood? This is absolutely awesome for having your jack on, or if you need to bash anything and you need a flat surface. Comes in very handy. I would strongly recommend, especially if you're on soft sand, you're not jacking anything up on soft sand. So this block, very useful. Now it's power tools. I like to carry a rattle gun with me just to get some stuff done quicker, and a grinder if really necessary. I have used this a few times. If I've snapped anything or bent anything and it needs to get out of the way, I'll cut it off. And what I like to do as well is I actually like to carry multiple discs, and I like to stack them up just there, as you can see, to keep it nice and neat, so I can carry multiple discs all in one go. I also like to carry around a big breaker bar in case there's anything too tight and I need to get it with by hand. I can't fit a rattle gun in there. This has definitely come in handy a few times. Pry bar, a very, very handy item. A couple trips ago, one of my mates blew an engine mount, and we actually needed one of these, so we bought it from Sydney Tools to move the whole block forward and lift it up to get that new engine mount in. So without this, we would have been stuck. You don't really need to bring this all the time, but it's happened to me once, might happen again, so I might as well chuck it in. It weighs nothing, so perfect. An absolute essential, a hammer. Can't go anywhere without one of these. The last thing is a big King Chrome toolkit. This has all of my 1/2-inch needs. It's the big, I think this one's the big 150 piece set, I think it is, or could be a bit more, something like that. This could pull my whole car apart and put it all back together. Yeah, so this is definitely an essential item to carry along, fix any repairs that it needs. Definitely a must have. Don't really know why this is in my toolkit, but it is a little shovel. Very handy, especially for campfires. Alright, so that's it for all the tools. I think we'll now move on to any spares and consumables I bring on the trip. I'll move you guys over onto the tray so you can have a better look at what I bring. Alright, now you guys are up nice and close and you can see what we're looking at. So in this bag, I've got a few of the bigger things. A few things I don't have that I wish I do have is some spare hubs and a spare tail shaft. But I do have most stuff that can help me get out of the bush in a pickle. Worst case scenario, I can always send a mate or go with a mate to go get some parts while on a bush run. But for just the basics, I've also got a few extra tools in here. I've just got a little pry bar. I have needed it a few times, but not necessary. A multimeter. This comes in very handy. I had an issue with my alternator last trip. I went to Whattagans actually, and this came in handy to tell me what was actually wrong with it. So must have, I reckon. This is just a little kit of little mini pliers. I know I've sort of gone overkill on the tools, but these little things are stuff that I've used a few times, and I do quite find them very handy to use. And another thing is just, I don't actually know what you call this tool. I actually stole it off my mate. Don't tell Caleb. But I'm pretty sure how it works is it finds power. If you put this end bit on any cable, this should light up and show that it's live. Obviously, if you're having a power issue and you put it up to where you think is the problem and it's not showing light, then there's your issue there. I've used it a few times, not super necessary though. Okay, one more bit of tools. In here is just some ratchet spanners and screwdrivers, just some miscellaneous stuff. That's it for all the tools. Next in my bag of goodies, we have some parts. I like to carry some spare wheel bearings. These are just the old ones. I replaced all my wheel bearings with fresh new ones, and I thought I might chuck in the old ones because I've heard of a few people blowing wheel bearings on the highways, and that doesn't hurt to have. Got some rags here as well, clean up some mess. Another big thing is duct tape, electrical tape, and zip ties. This will get you out of any problem, I swear. If you blow a crank, this will fix it, I think. The last few things in this bag are just some upper and lower radiator hoses. If you blow one of these, you're sort of stuffed. So definitely a must-have to get you out of the bush. And lastly, I've just got a few belts here. Just another thing, if you blow a belt, you're not really going far. Another item that I would definitely find useful to carry in case anything happens. So that's it for the first bag of parts. I'll pack this all back up. So that is the first bag finished. Up next, we have a few consumables. I like to carry some oils. So here we have some gear oil just for transfer, gearbox, any diffs. Apart from LSD, this will work in the front and rear diffs unless you have an LSD. And I also like to carry a bit of extra motor oil just in case it gets low for whatever reason. Now, a few of the classics, we got a can of brake cleaner, a can of degreaser, and we also have a few tubs of grease here. Pretty sure it doesn't really matter what grease you use. I do have wheel bearing grease and just sort of general purpose grease. Up next for the spare parts, in this bag here, I do have a spare fuel filter. I did have an issue one trip with a fuel filter, so I thought I might chuck in one just in case. You never know what can happen. Last but not least, I have a very nice container full of a few smaller spares here. In the container, we've got the old thermostat and radiator cap from my last video, so I like to bring them along just in case. In this little tub here, we've just got an assortment of hose clamps, a spare fuel cap, we got terminals, big must have here, spare wheel lugs just in case, patrols, you know. I've also got a spare winch hook in here. I am running a soft shackle on my winch, but if I ever snap it or anything and I do need a winch, I've got a winch hook in here just in case. And the rest of this bag here, I've got spare brake lines, I've got just some wire and some spare hose and stuff. Just small things that could happen that might not end your trip, but it set you back a little. Just little bits of hose and stuff. And I've got a bag just full of just bolts, random bolts and stuff. You never know, you might lose a bolt. You can dig around in here and hopefully find the thing you need to get you back on the road. That just about does it for all the parts and tools that I bring. So I'll set these up so you can see how I pack my tub. So I think I'll set these up with a pretty good angle here. So we've got a decent amount of room in these tubs. So I'll sort of show you how I pack these and get it all nice and neat. So that's all the tools that go in this tub. As you can see, there's quite a bit more room for activities. If I ever need to carry extra stuff for mates or just anything else, there is still plenty of room in here to fit. This trip, I actually am bringing along a set of CBs. I forgot to mention that. I'm not lost, but you can still snap a CB. So I've got a set here. They don't fit in these tubs. Well, the short side does, but the long side does not fit in the tub. So I think I'll put them behind the passenger seat along with my box of king chrome tools. So I'll chuck them in there now. Back there perfectly. I might just lean these CVs up against this corner here. You can see in there, CV just sitting in behind there, behind the seat. It's not going anywhere. It's beautiful. So now that we got all the parts and everything done, on to the next few jobs. So up there you can see there's already roof nuts in it, but I've got my steady light here. This sits on the back of the tray nicely as a bit of a camp / driving light for night driving and things like that. So, but I need to get some new bolts for it because I lost the old ones. So we'll go find some bolts for this, and then after that I'm about to show you guys something very horrific. Oh, these cables, what is that? So what I'm going to do is, down at Bunnings they have these little square pieces that are double-sided tape. I'm going to just stick a few of these up on my battery box here, underneath the tray here, stick them on that and zip tie those cables out of the way. Actually, before we go to Bunnings, I think we will rummage through those bolts and find some bolts for the steady light, just to get that all nice and finished. Alright, we're going in the shed. We have a barrel of a bucket of bolts here we can go through, and we have also looked through these. I know what bolts I need. They're just an M6, so like this one looks pretty good to me. But yeah, I'll go through these, get some, and we'll put that steady light on. Alright, so we've grabbed some bolts here. Hopefully these are the right thread pitch and everything. We'll go put them on. Alright, nice and close to the camera. We're now going to bolt them on. I did get the right bolts, so let's put her on. Beautiful, she's on there all nice and solid. Let's plug her in. Let's test her out. Beautiful. Alright, that's the second job all nice and done. So we've got the tubs packed with my tools and parts, with the light on, and now the next couple steps is going to be to fix that disgusting wiring underneath the car, because that is just horrendous. And then we need to hop in the engine bay, and I need to fix up some boost piping. So yeah, next step, we'll run the Bunnings and get those clips that I was talking about. Alright, so we're in the car now. We're now going to head to Bunnings, and we'll head back and fix that cables under my tray. Those horrendous, disgusting cables. Alright, so we're now under the car here. Ports, the clips, my zip ties here. Now we're going to try to fix this absolute monstrosity of cables. It's a bit close, but I mean, I'm sure it'll make a lot of people cringe, but you can see there, runs nice down there and beautifully up there. There's one cable here running from the front, but it's not in the way of anything, as you can see. Nice and smooth up there, it looks good. The next job involves these pipes. So my boost pipe situation is a little bit dodgy. You can see here on the flange there, so it's a bit messy. So I thought I might clean this all up, just get it all nice and neat, because like the boost pipes just be popping off, especially there. Figure something out here and see what we can do. Cut up some pipe, work it out. Alright, so I'm out after an hour, half an hour, something like that, and it's all nice and done. This bend here is still a little bit dodgy, but I reckon it should be all good. So I'll probably take it for a quick test drive, see how it is, and I'll probably be at the end of the video. Alright, so I think I'm going to end the video there. I know it was a bit of a boring one today, but we got a few things done. We packed all the tubs ready to go, fixed up some wiring underneath the car, and did those boost pipings. I didn't record much of the boost piping. I had to cut some pipe up, but I just sort of want to get that job done. But it's all finished now, so if it was a bigger trip, I'd give the car probably a full run over, like change oils and stuff all before the trip. But I did an oil change not too long ago. Hopefully you are all tuned in for next video. Some exciting content. The past two videos have been a little bit boring. I needed to give content to you guys, so you gotta wait. And in 2 weeks, you'll have some absolute crack up healing content. So we'll see you guys very soon. Catch up.